The streets need it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for the Streets Needed podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Architect, aka Mr. Behind the Scenes. Shouts out to Big Stu. Shouts out to DJ Superstar Streets. Make sure you follow us on all social media at the Streets Needed. That's the Streets with a Z. Today, we have a special guest on the podcast. Welcome to for the first time on the Streets Needed, the good brother Tdimuzik out of the Bronx. Good day, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me, brother. For real.
Absolutely, my pleasure, my pleasure. So let's get right into this, man. Representing the Bronx, right? That's the heart of hip hop, right? So get the folks the backdrop. Who is Tdimuzik? What is it like coming up in the Bronx? You know what I mean? And just give them the whole backdrop.
The Bronx was the melting pot, man. Coming up in the Bronx, it was crazy, especially if you was out here doing music. You know, you had to prove yourself in these streets out here, man. You had to run into these rap battles. You had to really make your name in the streets before social media. So you had to really be outside putting in that pain, you know what I'm saying? And going up against the best dudes on the block, the best dudes from that hood, the best dudes from over there. So it wasn't easy coming up in the Bronx. And that's just pretty much New York, period. I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody in New York could relate.
Right, absolutely, and for a lot of our viewers who are outside of that, give them how did you get involved in hip hop? Because a lot of us know this is our culture and our lifestyle, but how when were you first introduced to it coming from the Bronx?
I think coming from the Bronx is kind of like a cheat code getting into hip hop
Mm,
because you live here, like you live in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like growing
hmm
up in a house of people who do martial arts. You go outside, you're gonna have some type of tactic to your technique. You know what I'm saying? So it was pretty much it was all around us. We had the graffiti, we had the DJing, the breakdancing, the MCing. So it was around me since a child. Literally, it was. I had an older cousin that lived with me, and he was a DJ, and so I'm constantly hearing the music. So it was only but a matter of time before I tapped into this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, a lot of people nowadays that come into hip hop, it's my personal opinion. I feel like there's such a big distance between the source of it and where we are today, right? So, as an artist, as a person that's been all the way involved in the culture, what are some of the changes you've seen over the last, let's just say, the last decade, right? How have you seen the culture changing?
I definitely see a huge disconnect with what the culture entails and the music that's out there today. I just feel like a lot of artists today are not in tune with what happened or where hip hop came or what hip hop is about. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Salute to the artists today that are putting out some product, and there's a lot of dope artists today. A lot. I'm not even gonna front. I'm not one of these guys that's downplaying the youth and downplaying the newcomers and stuff like that. But I just feel like a lot of guys are in, and I seen it last summer when 50 Years of Hip Hop came around, and you didn't really see no new artist, you know what I'm saying, like around that or even promoting it or I don't know, man. It's a huge disconnect though, and I just think it's a generational thing, man.
Right, and I've seen that too. You know, as somebody that's been around for a while,
Hmm.
it's almost a sad thing. But then they get so much money now, right? Like the money, at least it appears that way. It
Right, right.
appears that way because
So it's like, what do
Timu
you?
Jewelry is off the hook right now.
Yo, that's a fact. That's crazy. But what do you do? Like, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? They getting money doing it their way. You know, it's just a sad thing that the knowledge of the culture is going to get pushed to the side and people are just going to focus on the money, you know what I'm saying? Which is, I don't blame them, you know, do what you do, man. But I'm from that era. Like, if you listen to me and you listen to the music I'm putting out, then you know where I'm from. You know I'm tapped in to that era. Like, I'm going to remind you of the 90s. I'm going to remind you of the 80s because that's just where I'm from. So I'm gonna bring that into today's sound. You know what I'm saying? That's what hip hop is lacking. So I always say I'm here to restore the feeling. You understand?
Right, and that's part of what we want to do here with the Streets Needed. We want to be, empowering artists, and it's everything is so. When I say numbers driven, it's like your credibility is based on the amount of Instagram followers or these things, and not necessarily your skill set. Right? Have you seen that? And what's your thoughts on that? Like as far as the credibility system, like what do you think of that?
I think some of the dopest artists are the ones with 300, 200 followers.
Mm,
And then The guys with 100,000, 150,000 are just the most noticeable. So it's about who gets noticed the most. I done seen people on platforms, on big platforms, rapping, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? I remember a time when you listened to Hot 97, which is the premier New York station, and anybody who was on Funk Flex rapping, you had to have a tape deck ready because you wanted to play this for the next 6 months. Because there was talent up there. It was inspiring when you heard people on the radio. That's why I'm still rapping today, because of these guys that was on the radio yesteryear. But today, I feel bad for whoever's coming after us, man, because I don't see no inspiration. Like, there's nobody out there. You can't quote no music today. You can't quote no bars. There's not a bar you could quote today from a new artist. Am I lying?
Nah, fair point.
And
I
I'm just
mean,
being real. I come from that. You're gonna respect this pen. I guarantee. Whether you like my music or not, you're gonna respect this pen. And that's what I thrive on. Like I come from that pencil to the paper era.
right. So
But
we talking about like a craftsmanship or an appreciation for the craft, right? So I'm gonna mess with your memory a little bit here. Do you remember a point in time where you really had to be nice to get in a studio? Like I say it all went bad when they started making the studio easily accessible. You know, you spent 400, now you got Pro Tools in the mic, and you could just record hot garbage all day
they
long.
don't
I
care
off
what comes in. They don't care. The platforms are starting to lose credibility too, because before some platforms start off, well, you got to be nice to get on there, and I respect it. But now it's who's the biggest guy with the numbers, who's paying the 2-3 grand to get on that platform now. But that was a money thing. So it's like F the talent. This guy got a good. He got $4,000. He can come up here.
How do you think that's hurt the game though? Like because like I said, the money's prevalent, right? And I mean, we had payola, right? Back in our day, we had. When I say back in our day, like when we were in our heyday with things, right? We had payola we had to deal with. But now, like you said, how do you think that money has changed that game? How it changed the game, really?
Let me tell you something. I don't knock what anybody do. If payola is the way to get to that stop, and that's what you're doing to get there, by all means, get it done. Because there's also an investment in yourself, right?
Mm,
Do think it ruins the talent part of the industry. Because now there's a guy out there with the super dope talent, but don't got 1,500 or 2 grand to get on the radio or to get on this platform or to do this showcase. So he gets pushed to the back because he doesn't have that money. But he's super talented. He could probably get in there for free and smoke everybody in the room. So
yeah.
the good talent gets overlooked now because
Yeah, that's a certified fact. Ladies and gentlemen, we kicking it with TDI music right here on the Streets Needed podcast. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come right back. We kicking it with TDI music. Stay tuned.
They contain explicit lyrics and adult themes that may not be suitable for everyone.
Listener discretion is advised.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Yo, what's good? This DJ Superstar Streets of BA Studios, and you tapped into the Streets Needed. This is where you get all of the exclusive music you need to hear, you heard?
Oh my gosh, Streets is crazy.
This is one DJ you don't want to fuck with.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we here kicking it with TDI music right here on the Streets Needed. Once again, make sure to hit us with a like, follow, subscribe. I'm gonna tell you, I be listening to people say that, and they always say something like subscribe, and it just bothers me. I'm like, yo, there's a whole B in that word. I don't know if it's like a gang thing where they
subscribe.
can't say the letter B or something, but it's like, come on, bro, it's not
Subscribe.
subscribe.
You know
Yeah,
what I hate? You know what I
what's
hate?
that? What's up?
Artists. Artists.
Oh my god! Or promotions. Promotions? Really? We going with the promotions? We're not gonna put an R in there. We not doing that. Yo, so I'll share one other pet peeve I have. We still say, and I hear people in my generation say, "Yeah, I'm about to go make this record." Like, sir, you are not about to go make this record. 100% not about to record a record. Like you're not
Yo,
about to do that.
I
Yeah,
started saying that, and I think it's because of the era we from.
no, it's true, but I've had to
We
wean myself off of that. Like we're in fact, there'll never be another record made again. Probably
right, record a song is what we're gonna do.
that's what we're gonna go do.
We're not gonna record a record.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're, unless
gotta
you're
lay
gonna
off.
go press some vinyl, right? So speaking of that, right? How important was that era though, the white label era? Because I think that the DVD era was like the best time in hip hop. Maybe I'm biased, right? But what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that was a better time in the culture?
When you went out and bought a Jay-Z CD, a DMX CD, a Noriega CD, you listened to that CD for 6 months to a year. Why? Because you had it physically. It was in your deck. It was in your car. It was in your CD book. You put it out, boom, yo, right? You put it in your Walkman. You was on a train with it, wherever you
Facts.
was. I think that streaming gave everybody a lower attention span. So now you hear an album for 2, 3 days. 2 weeks later, we're calling the album old. And it's just the way this, it's so much music coming out at once. Yes, it's so convenient to have 30, 40 albums at your disposal. You could just boop, boop, boop. But I find myself looking at people's albums from 2019. I said, I want to listen to that as old. That was just a little while ago. But it's just that so much music comes out. I think we valued music more when it was on tape decks and CDs. We valued it more.
I
People
think
that
that's
are
a
not from that era can relate, and I understand. But
No, I
man, that
think
was a
that's a
good.
fair point. I think that's a fair point. Now, what's your thoughts on the length of the albums changing? Because at one point it was like 20 songs, then we was going into double albums, and now albums is like 6 songs and a skit. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think again, it goes back to we appreciated music back then. In the '90s, early 2000s, we really appreciated music. When Big Pun had that, we had 21 songs in Capital Punishment. I always found that to be a lot. Me personally, I always found those 20 songs because I was taught that less is more because
Mm,
you keep people wanting more and you also want replay value, right? But
right.
Big Pun put out a masterpiece with that Capital Punishment. So very few people got away with that 21, 25 song on the album, double album, Biggie, fire. Um, we appreciated music back then. So when we got double CDs, we were playing the double CD. And we Wu Tang, then Wu Tang Forever was a double CD,
Yeah,
right?
double CD, absolutely.
And I love that album. One of my favorite albums. But if you do that today, people are not getting through the first album. They forget about the second one. They're not even
Yeah, I
microwave
agree with you.
microwave era, man.
I agree with you. Let's talk a little bit about you now. Now you have a storied career in this business, right? Who are some of the folks you've had the pleasure of working with? I know, but like just let the folks know, some of the people over the years and some of the projects you've been involved with.
Music wise,
I
it's
love you too.
very slim.
Go ahead,
I got to work with Goods, the animal. Shout out to my man Goods. You know what I'm saying? I work with a lot of people in the battle rap circuit. My man B Magic. Me and my man Tony Sunshine got something coming out that's on a sneak tip. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my bro Tony Sunshine, Terror Squad. My my experiences more came from the people I've met and
Mm,
interacted with as opposed to recorded with. Like I got to meet Dana Dane, and I got to ask him the same questions you kind of asking me. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to D and Y, Rough Riders. Those are the OGs and the most successful guys that give me gems, give me the things I need that you can't get from a record, like you can't get out of a feature. You know what I mean? So I
right.
value that more. Like I tell all the artists coming up, your most important moments are going to be a part of the journey. It's not going to be the destination. It's going to be the people you meet and the things you learn on the way to the prize. So I pride myself more in the relationships I've built more than the features. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could dig that, and I respect you saying that. So, who are some of those guys coming up that you looked up to from an artist, point of view, even a producer point of view? Like, shoot some names at the audience so they kind of know what the vibes is.
I was a big RZA fanatic, man. I wanted to be like RZA when I first started rapping. I was a teenager. I wanted to be like RZA. You know what I'm saying? I love Jay Z. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Jay Z was always like a trendsetter,
Mm,
not much of a follower. Like I don't know. I was always a Hove guy. I was a big Ice Cube fan coming up. Salute the Cube. Um, I be inspired by a lot of people. Shout out to West Side Gun. Like West Side Gun inspires me today.
right.
Comes from that grit, that grind, that mud. You know what I'm saying? And it inspires me to do so much coming from the bottom like he was. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people out here. Even the local artists inspire me. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to Dice Peso. Dice Peso out here grinding like rents do.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, shouts to French, shouts to Fat Joe, you know what I'm saying, who came from the bottom. 30 years in the game. Like, this is a guy we saw locally. And guys headlining the Apollo, shutting it down, selling it out. Like, it's possible, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's real. That's real talk. Ladies
Word.
and gentlemen, we here kicking it with TDI Music right here on the Streets Needed podcast. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. We're gonna come back with the lightning round, being that this the brother first time on the show. See, I didn't even tell you there was a lightning round, did I?
I don't know what that is, but I'm ready.
Okay, cool. See what I'm saying? So now y'all know I don't be prepping the guests. I don't tell them that, but we gonna do the lightning round when we come back right after this commercial break. Stay right here on the Streets Needed. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe, they've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know what it takes to improve these issues. I've got great working relationships already in D.C. I've spent the last 10 years of my life building my political resume so that one of us, somebody who thinks like we do, could get into DC and make a difference. I want you to visit aliforcongress.com to find out more about my campaign. The Democrats have already done enough, and now they're putting illegal aliens in front of people like you and me, folks whose ancestors built this country and made it what it is today. So again, I'm asking you to support me in my run for U.S. House District 12 here in North Carolina. You don't have to live in North Carolina to support, because what happens in Congress affects the entire country. So again, it's aliforcongress.com. I hope to have your support. Peace and love, y'all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Streets Needy. We here kicking it with TDI Music. Shouts out to my partner Big Stu, and of course DJ Superstar Streets, and my twin brother Dual Ali. Make sure y'all tap in with the campaign. Not too many people running for Congress come from hip hop culture. I mean, really come from hip hop culture and can rap and can do what we do and are tapped into the streets. So shouts out to everybody over there. So listen, TDI Music, it's your first time on the platform, right? To win the plug, you gotta get through the lightning round. To get the big screen, 30-second plug, you gotta go through the lightning round. Are
Right.
you ready?
Let's go.
All right. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Hot dog, hamburger, or pizza?
Hamburger.
Who makes the best pizza? Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles?
New York, man. Stop playing.
All right, cool. Knicks or Nets?
Knicks.
Okay. See, some people don't know that. Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone?
Arnold.
Arnold. All right, what's your favorite Arnold movie?
Boy, the Terminator, man.
Of course. All right. I just want to make sure.
Terminator 2.
I like 1 and 2. I like 1 and 2. I like 1 and 2.
And Predator 2. Don't forget the first Predator. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, see, dang, you right. All right. If you had to get into a physical altercation, it's gonna be a fight, and there's no way to talk your way out of it. And you had to pick between Donald Trump or Barack Obama as your fighting partner. Who do you pick?
Barack. He's younger.
There you go. Hey, it's your lightning round. I don't got nothing to do with that. I don't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
All right. So we wrapping up. But look, you stuck on the desert island. You never leaving this desert island. You got 1 meal for breakfast, 1 meal for lunch, 1 meal for dinner, 1 book, and 1 album. What's your breakfast? What's your lunch and your dinner? Your book and your album you stuck with forever.
Breakfast, mangoul with the 3, you know what I mean? Eggs, fried cheese, salami. That's breakfast. Lunch, ham and cheese sandwich, lettuce, tomatoes. Dinner, mac and cheese, chicken cutlet. Everything unhealthy, right?
Yeah,
What was that?
nah,
What
you
was
got
the
a
other one?
book, you got a book, and you got an album.
Art of War, Sun Tzu,
And the album you rocking with forever.
Reasonable Doubt.
Sir, ding, 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 ding. You've won the lightning round. The floor is yours. You take the next 30 seconds to a minute. Let the people know what you got coming out. Let them know where they can check you out, how they can support the TDI music movement.
TDI Music, TDIMUZIK. You see it on the hat. That's everywhere. You know, we got the merch, Big Bronx Energy hoodies. We got a lot of music coming out. It's unpredictable. I never know what I'm doing, so it's a roll of the dice. Just keep up with me. I promise not to let you down, man. That's pretty much it. You know, I'm not gonna sell you no dreams or nothing like that, but I will keep you entertained. I promise.
Absolutely. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, we've been kicking it right here on the Streets Needed podcast with Tdimuzik. Thank you, brother, for taking the time. And I got to let the folks know when I reached out to you, you reached back immediately. So we appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? We know you out there working hard to keep the culture going. Thanks for
Right.
taking the time, good brother. Peace and love to you and the
Thank you for
family.
having me, bro.
Yeah, absolutely my pleasure. And we look to bring you back on real soon.
For sure.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, you've been tapped into the Streets Needed podcast right here on the Streets Needed. Again, shouts out to my partner, Big Stu. Shouts out to DJ Superstar Streets. And of course, I'm your host, Architect, aka Mr. Behind the Scenes. Until the next time, peace and love to the family.
Hey, yo, what up, Stanley Boy from House of Pain? Yo, TDI Music Show NYC. This is what it feels like to shake the city, my boy. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. You know how we do it. One love, yo.
Oh, man. Let me see them take this one.
TDI Music.
Looking for the real, then it's right here. Time to shine in the future, looking bright clear. So New York, Yankee fitted in night ears. Had it jumping when I brought the vibe right on Times Square. They pack it up when they see us and we come around. Talk nice, it ain't nothing for us to jump around. It gets better, order another round. This new version of the Bronx to make the whole city jump around. This year, making moves, get a lot of bread. It's cold in the city, make it hot instead. Outside with my 40 belows, feeling like Tupac when he was out here chasing Rodamez. Yeah, everybody can't flow, the shine is for the real. Everybody can't glow. Salute Betty the Butcher, cause the homie said it best. This grind is for the real. Everybody can't go. Shorties over here, we ain't cuffing them. Fang fat, can't lie, we loving them. Tell your man he a bozo and we bumping them. Step in this house of pain and we jumping them. Comfortable, it all feels right. Off that, this what New York feels like. If you ain't like it then, you gon' love it now. Turn it up, make the whole city jump around.